بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الأستاذ مساعد الدكتور امير حمدي العميدي، كلية طب أسنان، اختصاص تجميل وطب الأسنان التجميلي. محاضرتنا لهذا اليوم هي المبادئ الأساسية في طب الأسنان التجميلي. Esthetic Consideration. النبي عليه الصلاة والسلام قال الابتسام في وجه أخيك صدقة. من هالمبدأ نبدي محاضرتنا لهذا اليوم. What's the beauty? A beauty, does it is real come from the inside or physical? Do we really think about the beauty? It is only the skin or the deep in the our person or our body. Is alternative has been a question for us long as we have been civilized. Many spend to 1/3 of their income improving their looking. Aesthetic, it is a branch of philosophy dealing with the beauty. It is important of discipline that the deal with achieving of ultimate in appearance, escaping from artificially. Aesthetic and science of dentist applied to create, enhance the beauty of individual within the function and the physiologic limit. The appearance zone, this is the anterior oral area where aesthetic is the prime concern, and which it is visible in smiling for maxillary premolars to premolars, usually the first also. This is the area where it presented from the premolars to premolars, and we have the upper and lower jaw. In itself, image, mouth size, tooth size, smiling white, and the lip, and the size of the toughness. As we see there, we have, this is the before the aesthetic treatment, and this is treatment. This is also, this our lips, and in gingiva, this is in this deals photographs, and this is photographs. We have see the gingiva, it is not as this limit. We have the beauty of the teeth and the gingiva. So the smile, it is the ability to express a range of emotion, movement of the teeth and lips. Acting in the aesthetic, we have the soft tissue, information, impression of the procedure, the temporary restoration, reduction, shade selection, color variation, translucency, and surface characterization, degree of the close, and the tooth form, size, and the optical illusion. This is the whole treatment or the aesthetic. We have dealing with the hard tissue as the tooth and the soft tissue as the gingiva. Also, we have some physical property of this teeth which depend on the color, and it is physical property. We start from the soft tissue management. Optimal soft tissue health should be established before any restorative procedure. Many aspects of prosthetic treatment may cause aesthetically determinational changes in the form of the changes in the gingiva, form, color, and position follow the cementation of the prosthesis. There is some defect here and there. Also, this is the soft tissue where depend on the error of the cementation and the prosthesis. This is healthy gum, and this is after the cementation. We see this is a defect in the cementation and the defect in the producers of the prosthesis. Also, the finishing line formation with subgingival margin, even effort must be made to produce minimum soft tissue injury. When we do our finishing line like this and this, we must have a precaution that don't hit the gingival tissue, because when we made injury to the gingival tissue, we have, as see in the upper supragingival procedure. Retraction cord technique, we have used the retraction cord preparation is completely established with the supragingival finishing line. Then the retraction cord is placed in the sulcus and temporary displacement of the gingival laterally and apically. Excessive instrument pressure in placing the excessive large cord, as in the preparation or finishing line, may cause also bleaching, reducing the blood supply. When we press the gingival retraction cord, when we force in the pressing, we have not that as a bleaching to the gingival tissue and become more whiter. This is because the reduce of the blood supply is often observed immediately after the placing of the cord apically displacement. Healthy gingival tissue, 1/3 cord in anterior teeth. Finally, the finishing line can be lowered without soft tissue injury. Too large, too many cords, excessive trauma will lead. Single medium size, as we use in the posterior teeth. This is subgingivally, and this is the pictures about the placing of our retraction cord, and this is the final impression. Impression procedure, and impression must provide detailed form about the preparation tooth surrounding intact tooth associated with the soft tissue. Remove the cord from the sulcus and the impression material syringe, and this means that impression must syringe it around the prepared finishing line. This is the prepared teeth with the finishing line. We firstly produce the light impression, put in this area, and then take the tray to place the heavy body in it, and then this is outcome of the impression. We have this is the area of the gingival sulcus with the preparation of the finishing line. So the causes of the finishing line not visible in the impression, we have some causes, and this as inadequate soft tissue management, which leading to the bleeding and from the inflamed gingiva, and displace this in the impression material. So we have to healthy gingiva before any impression making, or tendency of the gingival cup recoil and displacement partially seat the impression material. Because of an inadequate bulk sulcus impression, we have used retraction cord, or used two retraction cord technique, or rotary cutting, or electrosurgery laser technique. This is the tooth when we place the retraction cord, and this is after remove the retraction cord, and we have this is the healthy gingiva. The temporary restoration, it is very important. Temporary, after we make our procedure of preparation and the procedure of the impression, we must have to keep the teeth and our preparation in healthy condition. So when we make this is the partial bridge or fixed bridge, which I mean a fixed bridge, a temporary fixed bridge. This is in order to keep the tooth, also to keep the contact area with neighboring tooth, and also the occlusion. And this is the area where it is important to see, because maybe recurrent caries happen in this, or maybe affected gingiva if there is not well made temporary. So we have a proper contour, well adapted to the prepared margin, should cross very soft surface, establish cervical embrasure to provide access for oral hygiene aids, and also left not more than 2 or 3 weeks when they wear. Over contouring lead to fourth cramp and enhance completing in the periodontal status. As this is upper this picture, we have see that over contouring may injure to the sulcus, gingival sulcus. Interdental papilla is often neglected due to the improper design of the interdental space. A crown contouring should be such that it should not provide any notches for plaque retention and should promote self-cleanings. Opening the embrasure access and interproximal area. As we see in this, the laceration of the gingiva with rotation instrument will lead our poor treatment as temporary. This is fell to vertical prepared teeth. So this is the this is picture we can understand from it. Poor contour. This is the cross section of the temporary crown. So when we see this is the direction of the food, the flow of the food, this is not affected to the gingiva or not affected to the area of our finishing line. And this is uncontrolled temporary restoration. We see the food flow will lead to injury to the gingival margin or free gingiva, which leads then to aggregation or depress in the gingiva. Also, and this is over contouring the crown. With this area, will the flow of the food will see, and this area will be food stagnation and lead to the plaque retention. Tooth reduction, a uniform duplication of form and a contouring of the natural dentition. Insufficient tooth reduction will lead to poor aesthetic. And development, adequate color requires a certain thickness of the porcelain. The facial reduction should be from 1 to 1.5 millimeter. So this is the crown, ceramic crown. We have the base of the core, and this is the layer of the porcelain, and this is the gingival and dentine porcelain. Outer layer is the enamel occlusal porcelain. So the thickness will affect it in the light reflection, also affected in the maintenance of the occlusion treatment. So when there is a shortening in this layer of the enamel, a porcelain margin will appear, and this will give a non-aesthetic color. So the thickness we 1 to 1.5 in order to ceramic and the color. If we have very thickness, the reflection of the light will be less than the small thickness. This is the preparation of the veneers and lumineers. Also there is we see in the second picture some errors in the space. We have only metal and we don't have space for the ceramic. Also the preparation, the area of consider during the preparation. In picture number 1, we have the facial surface should be reduced in 2 planes, one nearly parallel with the path of the insertion of the crown, and one parallel with the incisal 2/3 of the facial surface of the tooth. And in B photograph, when a place reduction parallel with the path of insertion may result in insufficient space for porcelain in the incisal area. So this is the ideal preparation. We have this, the sufficient porcelain and ceramic space. In this case, it is the error in the preparation. So of the ceramic or porcelain, so there is maybe fracture or in the color also may affect it. And in number C, we see this is preparation near to the pulp, may harmful to the pulp. Also the thickness of the porcelain, this may affect it in the light reflection and the change of the color. So when we do our preparation, we use this type of pair. This have a sufficient space and also to guide our preparation. Inadequate facial reduction, the laboratory fabrication can be handled in one or two ways. Develop a proper contour in the restoration result in the lack of the color vitality due to insufficient porcelain thickness, external and internal color modification to enhance the aesthetic of the restoration. Number two, we have over contour restoration to develop proper color leading to a plaque accumulation with effect in the gingiva. So in this case we have over contouring, and this is the effect on the gingiva. Also this is the trauma to the gingiva, and this also the prosthesis. In number one picture we have the ideal preparation, so the healthy gum and the nice color. Finishing line, we have some finishing line as modified shoulder finishing line, chamfer finishing line, and also this chamfer or deep chamfer finishing line facilitate adequate cervical reduction. This is the cervical area, and this is also the cervical area. Our preparation sub or supra gingivally must not harmful to the gingiva, and also adequate preparation to space for the metal and ceramic or to the ceramic only. When we have some problem in the preparation, we have inflammation of gingiva and interdental papilla, which lead to the shrinkage in the gingival and expose of the bone or of the cementum. Chamfer finishing line provide decreased facial reduction. So in shoulder we have the metal crowns and all type of the ceramic, porcelain and jacket crown. In bevel shoulder we have buccal or metal ceramic crown, and in heavily chamfer we have a porcelain crown and also ceramic crown, and in chamfer we have full metal crown or we have resin bonded crown. Shade selection, the selection of the shade, difficulty in the color matching, and this desired shade can be difficult because the light of the clinic and also the color clothes which may wear of the patient, also the condition of the light, sunlight or the night or room light. The origin light color of the tooth is the color of 1C as a result of reflection and refraction and diffraction and absorption of the light may be by the enamel, dentine and possibility by the pulp. The color seen in the tooth is the result of combined optical effect of the layers, translucency and thickness of the enamel and the color of the underlying dentine. The aesthetic dentistry used combination of the science and art involved the use of the color to create natural teeth-like restoration. Color and the shade are very important because teeth are multi-chromatic with the color variation from cervical to incisal. Every tooth in mouth have in central to molar, both upper and lower. So the tooth have multi-colors, and this is the multicolor. When we combine, take this color and this color must matching, the matching because the light have different vision, and this due to the clinical condition. Color of light source, the object that absorb, transmit and reflect and scatter the light from the source, and the interpretation of the result by the human vision system. So the light from the visual energy, it is a visible energy that is a part of radiation energy spectrum. Radiation energy process specific wavelength and may result to identify the type of the energy. So the light that the eye can see, this is the range of the visible light, and start from 400 to 700 nanometer, and the other infrared, and this is the ultraviolet. So this area only which we can see it, and this is the optical prism, also become from the infrared and ultraviolet. Newton discovered that white light can be broken down into the rainbow of the color. In 19th century, that German physiological Hering first described the new familiar color circle. This is Moseley color system, which the dental prosthesis will depend on it, and the color can divide it to the hue, and this is the hue, it is the natural color of the light, and the chroma, it is the layers of the light, and the value from the white to the black. The color mixing, we have light mixing, primary colors, red, green, blue. Additive mixing system, we mix two or of the light mixing, which as red with the blue, and red with the green, and green with the blue. The pigment mature system, yellow, cyano, and mantigo. The color of the tooth human, Clark is the first who described the color of the human teeth. So how we can describe this color to the lab work, we can see in this. Clark, this dentist, produced the first data and indicated the hue range from 6 YR yellow red to the 9.3 yellow only. The value range from, and the chroma range from 0 to 7. Larber and Brack found the hue range from 8.9 Y yellow to 3.3 yellow, and value range from 5.8 to 8, and chroma range 0.8 and 4. So we have a guideline for the clinical shade selection. We have to view the light of the clinic, and the amount of the light, the amount of the window present in the clinic, the location of the light from the chair, and starting light, and surrounding color, and tone of the selection, patient position, tooth condition, comparison, and select also distance from where to where I see the patient, and also the variation, and the diagram and photograph. This is the color. We have the hue, which we mean by the hue, and this is the chroma, and this is the value. In this, the color will be produced as the final C. As the color shade, we have some tools to get this shade. As a Vita Classic Shade Guide, this is the Vita Shade Guide. We have color 1A, 2A, 3.5A, and then B, and then C, and then D. So what should it mean by A, B, and C? A, it is red to yellow. B, it is the yellow, gray. C, and red to yellow, gray. This is the human being colors. Our colors in Iraq, we have from 2A to 3.5 color. This is also, as we see in this color, when it is end with A4, it is red to yellow. This is from the red to yellow color. And from B1 to B4, it is a yellow color. And the gray color is arranged from C to C4, and the gray, red, yellow range from D2 to D4. This is a 3 Vita 3 master shade selection, and the upper gauge it is the classic shade selection. As we see, it is the Vita step. We take from this is a 3D master shade selection. The way we have to select, for the first step we have to see the value, and the value determine the lightness level. Hold the shade guide to the patient mouth, and then start to darkest group, moving to the light to the left, and then in for selection the value group 1, 2, 3. This is which I mean by the value. What is the value? It is the lightness from darker to the lighter. Chroma, which we mean the chroma, that is next step in a 3D master shade selection. We select the chroma from your selection to the value group, movement to the middle tab to the number M, and spread the sample out like as this. We separate it, and then select the one of the 3 shade sample to determine of the teeth. From this we select the chroma. In 3D step we have the step 3, the hue. From the hue to determine the hue of the teeth. So we check whether the natural teeth is more yellowish or more reddish, then to shade impulse to select. So we have, this is to select the hue, and this which I mean the hue, it is the type of the color which we have. So we have in 3D master 3 steps. Select the teeth. Other color shade selection, electronic color shade selection, we have to matching by system. Vita is a shade compact, and this teeth area mode selection, not that the active dot appear. So we have to standardization to this Vita tool by pressing on the tools here, and then get the standardization. This is the table for standardization. Then this is the types of the color. Then when we have OK, we continue in the selection of the color of the teeth. The color system continue to evaluate the base of the visual color made, and this is the dimension of the color we have in the easy shade as A minus, A plus, and B minus, and B plus, and this is the hue from 0 to the 100. Also this is the equation which we depend in the delta E to get the color, and as a research. The factor which can represent it for poor color matching, a poor selection may has made from available shade. It become a possible matching for natural color with available porcelain colors. Dental laboratory may have failed to produce the same selection color from available material, or may have some insufficient information to affect the satisfactory color modification. The color reduction is insufficient in certain area, or may the metal formalic or opaque porcelain, or both too thick or have less insufficient space in dentine porcelain. So this is the area maybe matching from different color for different people, and this is the color with the wavelength as a human see. And then we take either two shade of the only the tooth, or three level of the tooth, and when we take the level as in number 2, we have get from the cervical area and the middle area and incisal area. the color variation, as we see there, from black to white. I put this picture to remember it very well. So cervical dentine is more than in enamel. Incisally, the enamel is thicker than dentine, and which increase in translucency. So this area is less dentine, and this is more dentine. This more opaque area, and this is more transfer to the light. So in maxillary anterior teeth, canine, we have very big, so the pigment will be appear here. Related to the dentine thickness, so when dentine is more prominent, so the color is more darker than the anterior teeth in central and the lateral. Lateral incisor slightly less pigmentation than the central incisor, related to faciolingual dentine thickness, which is often slightly less on the maxillary lateral incisor. And this is also as example, mandibular anterior is the greatest color intensity, with the incisor usually appearance in the same. If the variation in exhibits the opposite for the foundation in the maxillary incisor. So the lateral incisor pigmentation going the larger crown dimension. This is the area of the tooth, and this is the darker area, and this is the lighter area. Staining. The staining, this is as example of zirconium. This zirconium without color. So we put a staining as resembling the tooth. This staining to be more natural as the vital teeth. Not only use in duplicated the natural variation of the tooth color, but also to create enhanced illusion. Therefore, through manipulation of the shape, darker stain of optical illusion of the smaller size, increase in value, increase in whiteness, closure area, and the decreasing in the value, increase in the grayness, and less promote. في نهاية هذه المحاضرة أحب أن أشكر